Hello everyone! I finished decorating my valley and I thought I'd take you all on a quick tour. So I'm starting with my plaza. Initially, this is where I had Scrooge's shop, my house, Remy's. I even made like a cute little bakery and like a clothing shop outdoors, open air. But I moved all of that up into the forest. And after I moved everything into the forest, I couldn't decide what to do with this area and thought it might make a good orchard. The openness of it just really gives it a lot of space so you can give it a more clean aesthetic. Even after putting down all of the trees, though, I ended up with some extra space, so I made it an orchard slash pit, and this is what I came up with. I actually quite like the way that this ended up, even though it was kind of on the fly, and it ended up being one of my favorite areas in the valley. Now that you've seen my plaza, let's take you on a tour of my forest. So like I was saying before, this is where I moved my shops to. I also quite enjoyed decorating this area, especially with the Haunted Mansion, which I turned into a hotel. It's also my home, but eventually I'll take you all on a tour of the inside of the hotel, but for now we're just going to stick with the exterior of the forest. Down this way we have some shops and stalls for all your shopping needs. Remy's restaurant with outdoor dining. I finally got the popcorn maker, and I know it doesn't really fit too well here, but I just had to use it, so there it is. Scrooge's shop down here, and an outdoor bakery slash coffee area. I know there's another word for that and I can't think of it right now, but that's what it is here. I almost forgot. On the other side of the forest, we have Beauty's Castle. I actually had a really hard time decorating this, and I'm kind of worried that it came out too busy. This castle, just the aesthetic of it just didn't fit a lot of places in my valley, so I did what I could with it. I kind of played into the color scheme of the pink and purple, and this is what I ended up with. Actually, my favorite part of this is my two side paths that lead up to the Frosted Heights. I kind of call them my fairy paths. As you can tell, I'm really fond of pink and purple. Alright, now that you've seen my forest, let's move on over to my Frosted Heights. Right, now that I have changed into something better, let's take a tour of my Frosted Heights. Before we go all the way in, can we just take a minute to appreciate these Mickey ears? They're just so sparkly. I don't know why I wear them more often, honestly. Alright, going in, I know it's not Christmas yet, but I decided to leave this area as Christmas all year round just because I honestly love how cozy it makes it feel. I think I'll probably do a night tour of this area too, just because it feels even more cozy at night, and I honestly love it. I like the nighttime aesthetic a lot better than the daytime one, but I know that not everybody feels the same, so I figured I'd do daytime instead. This is our hot cocoa break area. And then I made an ice skating rink here. I think this is the only time I use Touch of Magic items in my valley, but I just had so much fun with this. If you're curious how I made these rugs, you can reach out and I can give you a quick little tutorial. Honestly, it wasn't hard. It took maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Heading back over this way, we have Hannah and Kristoff's house. I did kind of a hard time figuring out what to do with this area, but again, I just kind of played into that purple, pink, and blue aesthetic that I obviously love so much, and I came up with this. And I kind of honestly love the way that it came out. Now, I know you might see a certain house kind of in the background there, but just ignore it. That's my hiding spot for it. Not really fond of that house. Honestly, I couldn't figure out what to do with it, so I just hid it.
Good morning.
Well, good morning to you too.
Living the dream.
Okay, this is my country suburbs, as I like to call it. It's where I put Donald's house, Mickey's house, Goofy's house, and Minnie's house. Over here, we have Mickey's house with outdoor barbecue area and patio. Sort of gave him a nice little sitting zen spot as well by this pond. Over here, we've got Goofy's house with his outdoor barbecue area and fishing pond since he loves to fish so much. Over this way, I have Minnie's house and Minnie's mini farmer's market. I don't know why I love saying that so much. Just bear with me. This is her little farmer's market. And again, here's this pathing that I love this pathing. I just love it. It's so pretty. Her garden over here. This is where she farms up all of her items for her farmer's market. And then if we go on over to the other side, we have Donald's house. And over on the edges, I turned it into a sort of garden, like maybe a botanical garden or just a walking garden. Just kind of a pretty foresty spring feel to it. There's a nice little romantic sitting area here to look out over the beach. Honestly, I kind of love the way this area came out, even though it looks a little bit chaotic. There's just something about it. Obviously, I love to give things a bit more of a natural feel. I learned that's just sort of my decorating style, so I kind of into it. Now we're going to go ahead and head back on over here for a tour of my glade. Okay, after a quick change for immersion purposes, this is my fairy tale village. It's one of my favorite areas in the game. Honestly, I think it has a lot to do with these trees that I used everywhere. I wish they fit in better in other places because I would use them just in every corner. But this is the place they fit the best, so. And they definitely help give that fairy tale feel to the area. So originally, this is where I had the candy house, but when they introduced the mushroom house, I knew I had to add it to the fairy tale village. So Merlin got moved here, the mushroom house got moved to where Merlin's was, and candy house got hidden because I don't know what to do with it anymore. This is Ariel's house. And then over here, I made a fairy garden is what I like to call it. I wanted to represent at least a row of every single kind of flower that is in the game. With the exception of the end, which is just all black because there's only one black flower in the game and I needed it to be even. So, and then at night, all of these light up to the corresponding color of the flowers that we have here. It was honestly a lot of fun to make this area, and then I used the clouds as kind of like the idea of like magical watering. I know it might be kind of silly, but we had fun with it. And then over here, I recreated Alice's tea party. I honestly had a lot of fun making this too, just the exploration of colors and the brightness of it. the mismatching, even though it all kind of comes together strangely. Yeah, it was too fun. And then over here, like I was talking about, we have the mushroom house and pumpkin house. Okay, don't mind these night thorns. Honestly, things just keep spawning in while I'm trying to film. I wish there was a button I could use to turn off spawning for things like this, or like when you're decorating, you decorate for a while and then things spawn in and you get out of your menu and everything is not where you put it. I think the way to stop that would be if we could just stop time while we were decorating at least. Alright, and that is my fairy village. Alright, moving on. We're going to take a nice little tour of the beach. I finally got the lifeguard tower, and once I got that, I knew that this entire area was going to come together, so super happy about it. I know that it's kind of messy, but I kind of wanted it to be a little messy because it gives it more of a, I guess, realistic feel. I know this is just a little game, but I like the kind of slight realism of it. And then over here we have this outdoor beach spa area, which honestly, I'd love to just visit myself in person. I could see myself spending an entire day here. Moving on down this way is an outdoor barbecue area. And then over here, I made a fish market. I kind of love the way that this fish market came out. There's something about it, it appeals to me, I guess. And it was a great way to use this particular house. Oh, don't mind the chest that spawned in the middle of filming. And then over this way, I decided to make like a pirate area in conjunction with Eric's house. So Eric's taken up piracy, and that is his ship. Don't judge him. He brought home tons of treasure. And then across over here, we have banished Ursula to her own little island. And of course, once she got here, it just overgrew with all the nasties. But what did you expect, really? Alright. Okay, moving on to the Sunlit Plateau. This was another one I had a hard time decorating. I must have redecorated it like 5 or 6 times before I finally just settled on this. And the idea here is just an overgrown, lush safari adventure. I added Mirabelle's house here because just something about the colors of it seems to fit. So I know she's not really part of a safari adventure, but I think it's okay. And again, I made use of this flooring here, which I really love. It's so pretty. So moving on down this way. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have set this up in every single part of my valley to give me the ability to kind of decorate on the fly if I need to. If I need to create something, it's always just right there, instead of running back and forth to my house or setting down a decorating table. It's just always right there. I love that they brought that in as a crafting table, because obviously I've made good use of it. Over here we have a safari campground. This is what I use. Buzz's RV and Wally's, what do you want to call this? Tractor? Wally's tractor for. Okay, pay no mind to the stuff that spawned in here. I apologize. So yeah, just a nice little camping area. with an outdoor shower spa type area as well. I mean, you gotta bathe when you're on safari, right? Moving on, we have Moana's house over here. This is another house I really just didn't know what to do with. I moved her to the beach, and then I had her up here and back down at the beach. And after I decided to make Eric's little piracy area, I just moved it up here. And I think it just looks alright here, but if it looks like it was just kind of set there, that's why. Now over here, just our little well. And over here, we have Simba and Nala's house. I don't know why only one of these lamps is on, though. Let's go ahead and just turn them both on. There we go. And yeah, oh, okay. I wasn't planning on it. This is my Sunlit Plateau. I know it's a little busy and overgrown, but like I said, I just did not know what to do with it, so I just kind of threw things down and hoped they came out looking okay, and I think it's alright. I could probably improve on it. If you guys have any ideas, please pass them on. Alright, now I know this is technically still the Sunlit Plateau, but it's part of my villain's village, which is the Forgotten Lands. But this is Scar's house, and he's definitely a villain, so it's part of the villain's village. On another note, though, I noticed the sound it makes over here. Usually, I tend to play with the music on and not just the sound, but oh my gosh, it's so gross. Moving on. So I kind of wanted to make this area sort of like the inverse of my forest. So it does have a nice little shop area, and I'm calling this an evil pub. So they got their eatery as well. But then I also added an outdoor haunted concert. And then over here is the dark castle, which, oh my gosh, I love this castle, and I had so much fun decorating this whole area with this castle in mind, but I honestly had a hard time decorating in front of the castle. So this is kind of what I ended up with. I might change it, but I like it for now. And then over here we have a cemetery. Again, I had a lot of fun creating this little area. So the idea of this is kind of like, I don't know, just I guess a cemetery statue. But I think she looks super haunting here, and I kind of love it. Adds kind of a little bit of a dark feel to it. And then Woody's carousel is over here, which you think wouldn't fit, but honestly, it kind of gives that eerie, haunting feeling to it. I don't know what it is, but I love it here. And then over here we have my pumpkin patch, which I did a lot of pumpkin farming before I decorated this area. So thinking this pumpkin patch is kind of small and I don't make much money off of it, you would be right, but I have enough gold at this point that I don't really need to pumpkin farm for now, so it's okay. And then down over here, we have the For Christmas house. This is another house. I was just so happy when they brought it back. I didn't get to buy it the first time around when they disabled it. And when they brought it back, I practically jumped for joy. And then I had just so much fun decorating all of these areas with that house. But yeah, that's it. That is my valley in its entirety. I'm thinking I'll probably do a nighttime version with less commentary and just walking. yeah, thanks for coming on this journey with me. Let me know what you think.